So, on Tuesday morning, Nintendo, and more specifically Aonuma, made an announcement regarding the release date of the currently untitled sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. To the surprise of little, the game has been pushed back from a previously disclosed holiday 2022 slot to spring of next year. Fans have been murmuring about a looming delay for quite some time now. After all, it's been more than 1,000 days since the sequel was revealed, and we still don't have a solid release date or even a confirmed official title. And while that may be disheartening for the fans who are just itching for the game to come out as soon as possible, it has been a little over 5 years since Breath of the Wild's launch, and there is still much to anticipate before we eventually see the sequel in 2023. With that being said, here are 5 major reasons why we should still be excited for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. Alright, real quick before the video gets started, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsor today. I'm just playing, we don't have a sponsor, but I'm doing a giveaway. As you know, we are very, very close to 1,000 subscribers, and a small token of my gratitude, I'm giving away this $20 eShop gift card for the Nintendo Switch and otherwise. And to do so, hit the link in the description, sign up. It starts now. As soon as the video went up, it is live and it ends on April 6th. So if you want to win a free $20 gift card for a Switch and otherwise, check out the link in the description and let's get the video started. Thank you. Obviously, the most exciting factor of a Breath of the Wild sequel is that it will be a direct continuation of the narrative-shifting story and setting of the first Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is highly regarded as one of the greatest games to ever be published, and the phenomenon and the reserve that it holds in the community is arguably the strongest of the series, rivaling titles like Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past. Where the story left off, Link and Zelda had defeated the hatred and malice incarnate of Ganon using the Bow of Light and seemingly sealed him away. Now, it looks like Ganon has escaped and is more powerful than foreseen, as Calamity Ganon was seemingly nothing but a manifestation of Ganondorf's hate and rage that is still oozing dark energy from his decaying body deep underground. And upon Zelda and Link's discovery of Ganondorf's tomb, it seems that the dark malice attacks and infects Link, as well as even taking Zelda into some sort of abyss. We also see Hyrule Castle get completely lifted off the ground by Ganon's dark energy, where his body is located. From taking away that footage, as well as the subsequent screenshots and information that followed, it could be inferred that the next mission for Link is to not only save Zelda, like in most games, but also to restore Hyrule, and perhaps even himself from Ganon's evil energy that infected the greater part of the land. Seeing how far this arc and timeline of Link will go is interesting, as it will likely span the entire length of the Switch's lifespan, and we may have a trilogy slowly forming on our hands. The free-roaming gameplay of the first Breath of the Wild was innovative in itself for the Zelda franchise, and based on the trailers, it seems as if the capabilities of Link's ways of exploration will be greatly enhanced with what seems to be a flying mechanism. Now, in the first game, you could glide over large stretches of land using the Deku Leaf if you descended from a really high location like one of the towers. However, in Breath of the Wild 2, it looks as if Link will have to rely on airborne travel much more now, as he is now traversing between islands within the sky. The coolest part so far may be the free-falling action in the game, which, according to the patent, will also allow Link to shoot at objects while he's falling as well. More interesting mechanics we have seen so far include new tools reminiscent of what we are already familiar with from the Sheikah Slate. New ones include the power to reverse the motions of objects, a skill called Rewind. See Link here sending back this rolling spike. Rewind can also likely be a great help when making mistakes using the rune, giving players a more seamless option for correcting a puzzle or otherwise. Also, there is the ability to phase through solid platforms, which I'm sure will lead to a lot of hilarious ragdoll deaths from hundreds of feet in the sky, as well as some extremely impressive speedrun performances. One of the more captivating points of interest in the game footage we have so far is the premise of Link taking to the skies and traveling around the bodies of land within it. He likely has to go into the atmosphere due to the current conditions on the ground due to Ganondorf's presence. Answers may be insufficient or far and few at this point for our hero, and his last hope could lay in the clouds. This will without a doubt expand the amount of exploration to be had within the game. Of course, only if the already established areas from the first title are still accessible. Reminiscent of Skyward Sword, it has been suggested that these hubs in the sky could potentially be the Land of Spirits, an area that's hidden from those who aren't granted to view. Island hopping can become a tedious task if the main story's length is stretched solely by going back and forth between the different plots of land. But I have faith that the Zelda magic will integrate it into the linear story in the most efficient way. The land that we were allowed to roam in Breath of the Wild 1 was already immense and completely immersive. So to now have a new domain in the air to roam that I'm sure much of the story will run through is an extremely alluring sales point. What I'm most excited about personally is the central focus and plot of the game in its entirety. From what we can take away from these few early teasers is that Ganon has escaped and has unleashed his wrath of negative energy or malice upon Hyrule in a powerful way once again. One important clip that we got in the initial E3 reveal was the malice energy overtaking Link's arm as well as the Master Sword as he was holding it. Now, from the earliest screenshots we've seen, Link's arm is blackened and covered with some type of arm brace as well as a dark texture around his arm, potentially to contain any of the corruption that Link absorbed during that pivotal moment. This would later be supported more in the latest clips of footage we got during the delay announcement, where here you can clearly see the Master Sword in a badly damaged state, seemingly as if it was corroded by a nasty force that nearly melted half of it. It can easily be inferred that this was also the aftermath of Ganon's dark matter attacking Link in that moment. This can possibly suggest that the game's objective is to restore the Master Sword as well, but there are greater implications here as well too. Has the Triforce been corrupted? Will Link have to battle against time before he may succumb to the malice that he's been infected with? We have to find out. And finally, one of the most interesting aspects of Breath of the Wild 2's rollout is how the game will benefit from not only the OLED Switch, but possibly from another new model of the Switch entirety. Obviously, the discussion surrounding a Pro model and even a successor to the Switch has become louder and louder as the system ages, and following the release of Metroid Dread tied to the OLED model of the Switch, now it is possible to hypothesize that another flagship release, like a Breath of the Wild sequel, could be heavily tied to the launch of the next Switch model. Earlier this month, it was very heavily rumored that a Switch Pro regarding a 4K model of the system was in the works, after Switch chipset makers Nvidia had been compromised by a large cyber attack. It was alleged that hackers discovered files that suggest enhanced software that would be improvements from the similar ones on the base Switch. It will also be exciting to see how this new expansive installment will push the capabilities of the Switch's hardware, as most flagship games of more impressive natures do with systems in their later ends of their life cycles. That being said, those are just a few reasons why I think we should be excited for the upcoming sequel of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Even though it may be a bummer that the game inevitably got pushed back, I always think that delays are always for the greater good of a project. But those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think. How do you feel about the delay of Breath of the Wild 2? Are you excited about its launch? Which aspect of its release are you most anticipating? Let me know in the comments. And of course, if you made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate you. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are pushing for 1K. And don't forget about the giveaway. And as always, take care, good game, and thank you for watching. Peace.